What's up, YouTube? I am here with a top 4 YCS Hartford deck profile. It's 4th place Swordsoul list. We've got Andrew Dolich here, and you guys aren't going to believe that this is his first ever YCS. He's been decided not to play them. Well, I'll let Andrew go into it. Andrew, this is your first YCS, correct?
Yeah, it is. It's nothing crazy. I've played in like 600-700 people tournaments, and I've made top 8 and stuff, but I always felt like I wasn't confident enough to like top till around 2019 or something, and then the pandemic kind of happened, and then after that. But yeah, also like 2018, the format was very triangle, so it's like, are you really gonna top YCS with like his old pass possibly? It could happen, but yeah, it was my first YCS, but I was more prepared for this one than most tournaments. But I did spend a lot of time testing, like by myself, a few days before the event, and then I did some testing the night before. But to try to get the deck list right, there are a few things I definitely would change.
Okay.
Just because the format was super overhyped, but yeah, we can just move on.
Yeah, we'll go into the changes during the video. Just
yeah.
Because it was your first YCS, and a lot of people, well, a lot of players know that the YCS is like a kind of like the pinnacle of Yu-Gi-Oh, like one of the highest events like Yu-Gi-Oh offer at this time. Obviously outside of nationals and Euros and Worlds. What is there any like advice you would give to like a player who wants to go to a YCS who hasn't gone to one yet?
Yeah, so it's basically the mentality is like in a positive way, like you prepare for war. You don't act emotional when things don't trade off correctly in games or anything. You keep your emotions stable, your stamina high, and yeah, basically you just push through the rounds and don't ever think about your next matchups or anything. Just take it match for match, focus on the game state from there, and move. Yeah, that's basically just all you got to do, and just keep pushing. If you like, if there's a bad game or you feel upset about something, you can't let nerves get to you, and yeah, that's basically it.
Good advice. And you had a few feature matches over the weekend. Which rounds were your features?
Please don't watch top 4 feature match. People are gonna ask about it. Probably they have been. I opened double circle, 2 crow, and imperm. I should have impermed the Luber, but I already knew I lost. I didn't brick the entire tournament, and I just was like, I literally thought I was gonna win the event, and then my hands were 2 circle, crow, and that I just knew no matter what. Like Swordsoul's one of those decks where like you at least need 2 worm cards to like stabilize even possibly a follow-up. So like having 0 might like no top deck mattered, maybe besides Pot of Desires, but I'm getting cooked no matter what. And yeah, I just my hand was double crow game 2 with Vishuda and Moye, and I can't remember the other card, but there's no way for me to play around Token Collector, which I was able to do very well in Swiss, but and some in Top Cut, but basically yeah, it's just my hand did not allow me to do anything besides Moye pass if they had an answer. So yeah, super unfortunate there.
So top 4, and you had one at top
8. Yep.
Top 8 as well.
I first Drytron, he bricked game 2, and then game 1 I had Crow Veiler, and he only had 1 Drytron name, I believe, so he had to do the Beatrice line, but I just crowed the Alpha, let Ben 10 resolve, and then Veiler Diviner, and then yeah, basically yeah, I won from there.
Nice. And then do you have any more?
No, that was just it. I didn't so me, I feel like bad juju to do it in Swiss, so like I don't like being feature matched during Swiss at like in any tournament.
Yep.
Just because like I don't know, it's just I feel like bad juju. Just focus on the matchups and then go from there. But yeah, that was it.
All right, so guys, if you want to watch if you want to watch Andrew play the deck, top 8, top 4 are his feature matches. And yeah, so how many cards did you main deck?
I played 43. I wanted to play 12 utility cards, and I think also for the side patterns, I wanted to play my deck a little higher than 40, so I was able to squeeze in 6 cards, or at least for certain matchups. And then if there was like a weird rogue matchup, I'd probably only get to squeeze in 3 more cards. But yeah, I try to make it so like I had like 6 card side patterns for each matchup, just to keep the deck busy. So you basically have like 18 utility cards going in second.
And what was your score in Swiss? Was it 9-2?
It was 10-1.
10-1. Okay, wow.
I lost to Calvin DeHaan, and it wasn't that. Yeah, my hands were. If your hands ever just Baron Chizao and Mirror Match and maybe just any hand trap, possibly you can just get cooked right there, depending on their hand. But yeah, it just wasn't enough. Yeah, he had Chalice, Circle, Ecclesia, Tenny plus a normal summon, and yeah, I basically just got 0-2'd right there. And then day 2, I believe I went 2-0 all the way up into top 8, and then in top 8 I went 2-1 against Flunder. But his hand was Prosperity, Shifter, Rabina, all 3 games.
Right.
Literally, he was able to just pick his hand.
Okay. Yeah, 10-1, solid score. So you only lost 2 matches during the whole tournament. So the list must be pretty consistent. You were the highest placing Swordsoul player in the tournament as well. And yeah, when you're ready, if you have any, shout outs, of course. Shout outs.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's my bad. I should have pulled that up.
Thank you for reminding me. Shout outs to Sunny Her. He's a Michigan vendor. He always helps me get my cards, and he lets me borrow like his nice cards, so I appreciate him. Trong, Ray Dai for helping me test play, Sam for helping me test play, Connor, Tang Nugent, Dave, Ben Garcia, Max Reynolds, Eternal Games, Team Scheme, Dank Ritual, and yeah, that's it.
All right, sweet. All right, let's get into the list.
All right, so yeah, 43, nothing crazy, all standard. Some people were playing just 2 Ecclesia, but Desires did 2 now, so I mean, you know, pretty nice here. 3 Moye, 2 Taye, 3 Long Yun. That's all the names here.
So I assume you just wanted to play. You wanted to max out on names then, just to make it more consistent.
Yeah, and also like there's cool lines where like I don't know, you can play around Token Collector with this, or like just this card being a 4-tuner. And if you are in a grind game with the Token Collector or something, then this card really helps out.
Nice.
Not bad. And that's kind of the same reasoning for triple Ihara. I didn't know Token Collectors would be very popular, so I wanted to play Valor Ihara just so like the Yazi line was always available, so I just maxed out on these. Plus, your only really grind matchup is maybe Mirror, but Mirror can either be grindy or it can also just be easy just 2-0. It really depends, but yeah, I just wanted cards to be able to grind, and I think like 3 Adhara for the Yazi line, 3 Token Collector, and also like doing Berserker line, stuff like that. Some decks don't play Nib and they just play Collector. I think Despia might maybe edge them to play Nib, but they can. But I believe like most of us were siding Mine and siding Collector. And then this card was actually way fun, just funny to me the whole tournament. I did open this card a lot, but also like in Mirror Match, the card was just insane. It's a 1 card like beta card. One matchup, I put myself down to 150 life points, and then I cooked him after I Shitana, popped his last interaction, and then I just comboed him back. And yeah, basically you just couldn't play from there. And then yeah, that was all the names for that.
Nice.
And then some people don't like Circle. I still like both. I think this is probably the only contradiction in the deck where like people are back and forth on their ratios. If you just play 3 Vessel, it's very easy to make this deck down to 40. But I think like missing out on these cards. Ogre's not in the format right now, but being able to like Circle Chitana, or in the round 11, I was able to like make 3 Synchros just because I Chitana in my deck. And that helps me with like, he goes Ray, I go Berserker, banish it, and things like that. So there's just ways to like set up more interactions and stuff with people with having this in your deck. And yeah, I just thought these were good. I bricked on both these in top 4 with just hand traps in hand. So yeah, I definitely was not going to win that game no matter what. Then 2 Desires, 3 Versions, 1 Blackout. Pretty standard there. And then utility cards, 3 Ash, 3 Crow. This, like, it was weird. some of my games that like felt super incorrect to be in the main deck, but also like if you saw, I played against Strytron in the feature match, and I played against Striker, and then I played like 3 or 4 Despia. So like this definitely helped me out as like drawing into a 6 card against that matchup, or just having it in my hand, letting them play, and just being able to crow and then push through the board, and then 3 imperms. So basically, like I do think crow going forward, it can be a side option, but I do think you do have to play hand traps because some decks you can't let play Yu-Gi-Oh. So either these could be chalices or droplets, for sure.
Yeah, would you have preferred droplet over the crow?
Yeah, so I was seeing this deck a lot in tournaments the week prior, and I was playing droplets instead. But the issue was like if you don't open spell cards, you kind of like burn a bit of hand economy, and especially with you doing long Yun plays and stuff like that, it kind of feels bad sometimes. So I just wanted to play cards that like they either trade 1-for-1s with my opponent, or they're just good utility cards. Effect Veiler is nice. I wouldn't take this out because you can do cool plays with it. And Crow is it's one of those things where like I think a YCS things like people really didn't know what to expect for this tournament. They knew like what they were worried about, like the top 3 decks. But other than that, like the scary like new combo decks. But I think most of those decks didn't make it a top cut. Besides like Punk Adventure, there was one guy who went undefeated with the Punk Therion deck, and then there also was ABC Therion.
Okay.
This is something that I just think it depends on the tournaments you're going to and what you think people are playing. But yeah, I don't know. I still liked Crow, but I just in the future I don't know what I would do with it. I'd probably decide it.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. 3 monk, 1 shaman.
Is 3 monk essential?
No, it's not. You can definitely. I never got into a grind game where I honestly. I think I went round 1. I went into the 3rd monk just because I had to play through imperm, droplet, D-barrier, something else in the grind game with mirror match. So that was one thing that was rough. But I think it's one of those things where like you just want it in, especially with me playing 3 Hara. Like you just want it in there because going in hard to monk to add back Taie and stuff like that's just really nice. But you can play without it. But I think the one time that it'll come up in like a bigger tournament, you're gonna wish you had it. But this like there's like 1 or 2 flex spots in this deck. You can make it whatever you want.
Okay.
2 Boxia, 1 Yazi, 1 Cheofeng. And I would say here all standard. Cheofeng's to basically play around Nib, or you can add Ash and Despia matchup with it. Berserker, Crimson Blader. Crimson Blader came up 2 or 3 times, and I do think I'd still play it. There's nothing really else to like put here. I do think like it didn't. I didn't play. I played against ABC, but I 2-0'd them. But like, if you're in a grind game with them and you Crimson Blader them, they can't summon Buster. They don't really play like any insane links, so like, I really don't think you can get cooked in that situation. Long Yun, Sheng Yang, and then Baron. Nothing crazy here. These are basically the boys of the deck. Always want to do them. Game 1s, I go for the draw 2 combo. Mostly every time, unless I have a read they're playing the. If they are playing Punk Therion or any of those decks, they might be main decking Nib, so I'm a little more careful. But most in Swiss, game 1, I just go for the power play. I think the deck it's kind of like how we used to play Dragon Link when the cards started going into 1, where you basically the draw 2s to help facilitate your follow-up, so you're able to play. And that was one of the things that the deck has an issue with, is like if you put up the board but the card took 3 cards out of your hand to do it, and you got like a draw and a blackout and you have to pop your own Shengyan or things like that, you're missing out on like hand economy on follow-up. So like as long as you basically the same as Dragons, like you put up like a decent board, and then most likely they can't kill you, and then you just kill them on follow-up.
Okay. So
that's kind of playing. You draw cards. Also, like most SP decks don't play Nib, so you just draw 2 and then you draw any multi-spell D-barrier, and yeah, you're nice. Side deck, 3 Dark Ruler. I didn't play any hand traps in the side deck. 2 twin, 1 red reboot. Dark Ruler was insane. The Drytron player did brick. But the one thing, if you could go for Beatrice line, I would have to play through the token collector on top of having Dark Rulers. So like he did brick, but I did have Dark Ruler just in case he did like Vanity Rule combo. He was playing actually the like it's like a Drake. I can't remember its name, but it skips your main phase 1 and then it negates synchros and feature monsters on the field. So the guy playing top 16, I can't remember, Miles something. D barriers, anti spells, evenlies. The only thing that was like kind of weird, I played against one Eldritch. I evenlied him, but he judgmented me. So, but other than that, like this card, I don't know how insane it is. I really didn't play it that much in most matchups. And most Despia can still go into 2 interactions if you decide to send with them or activate it. It does help trade for a lot of cards, but at the same time, I think it's only good against like maybe the Trap decks or Striker if they do commit a lot. But most of them were like Mind decks, so they probably did not commit a lot. And D barrier is the only thing I guess we can talk about. But in Swordsoul mirror match, if there's a way for you to bait the token and making them flip D barrier before that, you're able to go Shaman Monk, basically remove their board, and then you can flip D barrier back, which I can't remember what round it was, but my opponent like Crimson Bladed me. I outed that, and then I made like Cheese Out Baron, and then I basically just put D barrier, and then the game was over. But I do think this card's very important for the mirror match as well, just because the boards they put up aren't that crazy. So if you're able to remove it, you can D barrier in the back so they can't kill you. And yeah, that was the list.
Nice. Looks solid. Looks consistent for a YCS. Even a regional, looks like it'll do quite well at a regional as well. Yeah, I like it, Andrew. Any last words?
No. Thank you guys for watching the video, and yeah, if you guys want to come on by to Grimygo and give me a sub, feel free to do that. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah,
guys who are watching, Andrew, otherwise known as Grimygo, he has his own YouTube channel, which is Deck Profiles, has his own Instagram at Grimygo as well. Go and check him out. And yeah, congrats on the 4th place finish at YCS Hartford.
Thank you.